Hello and welcome to the joestar podcast, episode 12. As you can see, we are in a new area. This is my room. So, today we're going to discuss topics such as She Hulk episode 6, Rick and Morty episode 3, and a new Iron Man game coming out. Sorry about the blinds and stuff, but what can I do? Let's start off with She Hulk episode 6. So, Jen getting invited to a wedding was pretty cool, and it was nice the way they did it. They sent her a box, it said Jen on the top, and all that sort of thing, which was nice. She is when she got there, she was in She-Hulk form, but then the bride said to her, "You just have to be Jen," and she was very disappointed at that. For the wedding, Mr. Mortal was a weird name. He jumped out a window and survived. Pretty weird. The divorce case was weird as well because he had like 7 odd women and a man that he had been with. Titania, she showed up at the wedding. She was able to get with a guy to shit, and Jen was right. She wanted to be here so that she could beat up Jen, not in Hulk form. And it was rude that she showed up. Let's see. Roger versus his exes was crazy. Like I said, there were a lot of them. And very weird to see that. There was a Mario Kart reference that I found very interesting, but they just wanted to get Jen out the way, and so that's why they had to like get her out and have her unwrinkle the shirts. Sorry, I needed to think for a second. And then her having to walk the aisle with a dog, which we didn't end up seeing, by the way, was a little weird and odd because it leaked as well, which is a way of saying it pees a lot. And so, yeah, I think they just wanted Jen there for the surprise type thing. Like they're really annoyed at her and stuff, and so they just teased her a lot. The woman arguing about how much they've got from Roger and this was crazy and odd because like even though some of them had spent 3 years, some of them had spent half a couple of months, so it was a bit iffy on what should happen. Jen got a bit drunk and she was dancing because she didn't really want anyone to be her friend. And so she ended up just being drunk and dancing. And drunk Jen versus Titania was silly. I found it a little funny, but overall, it was silly. And then it ended up moving into She Hulk versus Titania, which ended up being a pretty cool fight and made one of the best things and least best things because Titania got punched in the mouth and her teeth got all scrambled up and stuff like that. And in the post, not in the post credits, but in the credits, there's a picture of her in the dentist getting her teeth done. And that is probably one of the best things about it. Okay. Um, the two girls who did the case, they watched the news and then they got a thing pop up that said that people wanted to cancel She-Hulk, which I can't believe. Why would they do that? Unless it's the people who try to get her DNA or Titania. I can see Titania doing that sort of thing. And finally, in the lab was in test as oh yeah, and it was an interesting one because they were creating more things that could actually pierce She-Hulk's skin, we assume. Sadly, last time I said I'm excited for this one because Daredevil might show up. He didn't show up at all. He'll probably show up in the next one or the eighth one. But anyway, moving on. Rick and Morty episode 3. Really weird, I should say. Love yourself because no one will. Rick being a turkey and Morty playing a game was cool. Also, Rick was naked. Yeah. It was pretty funny seeing him as a turkey as it linked to Thanksgiving. I don't know. It kind of linked to the I don't know the president one where they both turned into turkeys, and then when he turned back, yeah. And him being naked was very weird, and Jerry being like, "Rick, could you please put some clothes on?" was pretty awkward as well. Yeah, the Thanksgiving winter theme was quite good as well, even though it mostly happened over Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving day. So, but it was winter because there was snow on the ground. Okay. Jerry's speech was crazy. It was pretty boring. He said he would literally hurt himself if his wife didn't love him. By the way, Rick and Morty is more for 15 plus, I'd say. So if you're under 15, I wouldn't recommend watching it because there's a lot of swearing, a lot of dirty jokes, and a lot of other stuff that is coming up. uh, Beth and Space Beth were cool and they were crazy, and things just went a little odd for them. The video game was cool, and making fun of space being empty was funny. Yeah, because they went to realism 10, and then Rick said to Morty and Summer, "Oh yeah, if you're thinking about realism, then it's just an empty space up there." And so I liked how they made fun of realism. Okay. Summer reacting to Beth and Beth was crazy, and her also playing video games was a nice touch because she saw that Beth and Beth were about to kiss, and then she just couldn't get it out of her mind. So she said earlier she didn't want to be part of the video game thing and said it was boring and stuff. And then later on, after she saw this, she wanted stuff out of her brain. And so what she said, what she did was she just decided to play the game. Jerry being boring, he wanted to do a puzzle. Spoiler alert, he does end up finishing it. Beth and Space Beth being horny was gross, yeah. We don't know who the real one is. They cloned each other and so on and so on. They cloned each other back in the day. They did the horny stuff in this episode. Morty was acting weird after he saw what he saw. I would be acting weird if I saw my mum kissing my mum's self from a different timeline. And he also played the video games as well, even though he was into it. Oh yeah, Rick brought in a creature, he sliced him up, and he had stuff coming out of him, and that was a really cool scene. The snow angels look cool that Beth and Space Beth did. Yeah. And they did have to talk about what happened, and so things did get a little weird. Oh yeah, Jerry played an affair game whilst his wives were in the other room having an affair. Oh god, that was funny. Space Beth just being rebellious was awesome, and she told Jerry that they had the affair. And Jerry turning into a bug was odd. And then Jerry's backstory and Bug Jerry was cool and funny. And when Rick said that they hung out and he said, "Oh, this is what Jerry wanted," I almost started laughing. I was like, "Oh god, that is funny." And then they did another video game. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty cool. And Beth and Space Beth arguing was serious, and then Jerry getting annoyed was crazy, and then it turned into something completely different, and they had to pan down to Morty, Summer, and Rick listening, which was weird. And then Space Beth is going off somewhere. We don't know. I don't think she's going to show up for a while. And they referenced Naruto Smith. To be honest, I don't know if he's still a toddler or if he started to grow from toddler to child, like in between that stage of toddler child. We don't know, but they did make a reference to him. And in the end, there was a window fridge that Rick opened and put the wine away, and then um, and then there was some sort of blender that he threw something into in the sink. Okay, that was Rick and Morty. This was probably one of the best episodes of this season, I'd say. Okay, finally, I'm pretty sure you've heard this, but there's an Iron Man game coming out. I'm not that excited. I think it's going to be for PS5. If not, they might change it to PS4. And yeah, but overall, even though I'm a Marvel nerd, I'm not that interested in the games. Like the only ones I played are probably the Lego games, to be honest. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and join me next time where we'll continue watching She-Hulk and Rick and Morty. And rank movies from September, even though movies slash TV shows. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my short podcast. Sorry it was a little short today.